without further ado, let's get the session started. Are you excited? I'm really excited for what's coming. So, we will start with a welcome note by Noel and also Gregor. A little bit of introduction about Noel and Gregor. Noel is the Chief Technology Officer of My Ian Sendirian Berhad. He comes with over 30 years of IT experience, having spent the last 22 years focused heavily in Microsoft technologies such as Windows Server, virtualization, HCI, and cloud. Gregor is the Regional Category Manager for Asia at HPE. He heads the Microsoft OEM product category in HPE. And he is based out of HPE Regional Singapore office, working together with the HPE country teams from Asia Pacific, Japan, PRC, and India. Now that I'm done with the introductions, I'm going to pass over the stage, the virtual stage, to Noel and Gregor. Welcome, Noel and Gregor. Hello.
Oops. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, awesome. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you.
You can. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
excellent.
Great. Excellent.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't have plans to put on the headset, but there was quite a lot of noise. As all of you know, working from home comes with its own set of hazards, right? I couldn't control my neighbors from doing some renovations. With the MCO and the RMCO, suddenly they are all buzzing alive now. So welcome everyone for joining us on this, I think probably the first ever community event where we have so many countries participating, right? And also this particular event would not have been possible if I didn't have my dear friend, Clement Aro, right? Come alongside with me and to make this event amazing. Thank you, Clement. So my name is Noel. I used to work for Microsoft Malaysia for 15 years, and the last few years I've been supporting the Microsoft regional team across Asia, Pacific, and Japan. I also share regularly, all right, on LinkedIn. All right, do join me, and if you want, you can click on my QR code to pick up the details. And of course, in this keynote, I also have Clement with me, and in addition to that, we also have Gregor. All right, so all three of us will talk at different times, and it's important to note that this particular session is to give you an idea of the essence. And also very importantly, I want to introduce SH, right? He's our fitness gym instructor, if you want, literally, all right? And I've invited him to spend 15 minutes with us from 12:55 to 1:10 p.m. And I know most of you on the call or on these sessions are IT people, right? Even if we are coming from an end user company perspective, and I know many of us have problems with our neck, our shoulders, our back, and so forth. So SH is a great person to consult, right? So if you have questions, please post them onto the chat window. And of course, also please stay tuned to his session. And this is my LinkedIn group, all right, called Hybrid is the Way. So I do a lot of my sharing there. And very importantly, this is something very close to my heart. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So this particular event came about because many months ago, we started to see how the world started to shut down, country by country, literally. And we wanted to help individuals and companies to have a plan so that when we exit out of this COVID-19, right, we can move ahead very, very quickly. And of course, I also like Simon Sinek's words of wisdom. Always plan for the fact that no plan ever goes according to plan. So this particular bit allows us to keep a backup or a spare tire, if that's the right way to think about it. So I urge you to attend Pelvin's session about having that spare tire, if you want, with your virtualization environment. But more importantly, this is a, an attitude in our lives that I believe we must always keep close to our heart. Defeat is not the worst of failures. Not to have tried is really the failure. So the fact that this is the first time we're doing a community event with the support of HPE, Microsoft, among many other partners of ours, I urge you to use this opportunity to start reskilling yourself now. Don't wait. It's very important. So like what McKinsey says, companies are using this opportunity to reskill their people. Why not individuals for themselves? Right. So that's the important thing to think about. So thank you for all the countries that are participating. The last count that I did, there were like 14 countries participated. I apologize if you suddenly appeared in the last 1 hour and you are not from any of these countries. And just to give you a little bit of trivia, if you want, right, important trivia. This is a breakdown of all the different people, right, that's coming in, the percentages and so forth. Thanks to Linus, right, our Chief Technology Officer for this particular event, if you want. And also people coming from non-IT companies versus IT companies. When I looked at the numbers, I was kind of shocked. How is it possible that we can have such an even split? 50% from non-IT companies and 50% from IT companies, right? But that's the way it's turned out to be, right? At least as of 10 a.m. this morning. The other aspect was also your preference when you registered. And it's not surprising that 3/4 of you vied for cybersecurity. With the world so uncertain, with the amount of attacks that's coming in, that's causing massive disruption to IT as well as to our lives, COVID-19 has thrown us into a reset mode. All right, so welcome all of you who came in for cybersecurity. I want to also welcome those who are coming in for hybrid IT and biz IT as well. And don't get disillusioned if you see that this IT number is kind of low. I'm sure they will come in a little bit later. And a breakdown as of 10 a.m., how they all split evenly. So we have in excess of 650 people so far. And I know for the fact that, as Clement was sharing with me, because of the time difference between India and Malaysia, so there are more folks from India that will join us. So I suspect we will probably hit at least 800 to 900, if not 1,000. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Now, I just want to share a few minutes of what I feel about this COVID-19 pandemic. Right? It's important to realize that this problem is very severe. Right? Nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be, how to say, avoiding, if you want, but the concerns have been significant. A global economic meltdown in many countries, including my own country, Malaysia. All right, and of course, many people's lives and their jobs are affected. And I want you to realize that there is a silver lining around every dark cloud. The environment, from what I can see, from what I read around the world, has become a lot better. So I'm grateful the fact that I can spend more time with my family. As some of you probably know that I travel regularly to every country in this region, all right, almost, all right. And of course, also the other aspect is health, right? I'm sure many of you being stuck at home in the lockdown, you're eating home more often. So I'm sure your health would have benefited from that. So these are the things that I wanted to take back with us. But at the national level, we do have a major concern. The pandemic is causing havoc to our economy. So we need to work harder to revive the economy together. All right, this is if you want, made in Malaysia way, if you want, right, from an event perspective. But I urge that all of you from outside Malaysia take to heart that you need to support your own country, right, in order to rebuild it. Everyone needs to be united in this effort. And of course, some of you may have seen this article. For those of you who look at the Malaysian newspapers, Malaysians are now very worried about their job safety. All right, it's not surprising that the government came up with this thing called RMCO. This is my version of what RMCO stands for. R for rebooting the economy, rebooting our lives, right, and making sure that we support the country by doing what it takes with a Made in Malaysia. So join me on my session with Malik, right, later in the day, so that you can have a better understanding of how a really amazing retail organization made in Malaysia is surviving and thriving during the current times. And of course, what is M? M is to manage this virus threat, whether it's the physical threat to our lives or even the cybercrime threat that is leveraging this COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, I want you to think about what you can do more with what you have. Don't think about overspending your money. That's very dangerous at a time such as this. You need to be preparing for the exit. So save your money. So from a reboot perspective, I saw this article which was very interesting. The government is pleading to us to buy local first. So for whichever country you come from, I urge you to do your part, please. And of course, join Malik and I. And I'm sure some of you have seen this article from The Economist talking about the most valuable resource is no longer oil, but data. All right. And of course, we have 3 tracks. All right. Very proud that we have pulled off such an enormous achievement, I believe. But hybrid IT is very close to me. I've been covering this area for the longest time, if you want. And these are some of the key elements why hybrid IT is important. I'm not going to go through the details. It's meant more for people who's going to go through it later, and it will be covered off in the recording as well. So from a cybersecurity threat, all right, Microsoft continues to drive the investment above 1 billion a year, right, to support, if you want, the security around the world. And of course, in the Biz IT track, we're going to see a lot of how we will manage ourselves, our organizations, from a digital transformation perspective. So please join us in that. And on a personal note, I did this on Saturday last weekend, right? Helping my community of friends because some of them are also badly affected. And I wanted to teach them a little bit about cyber threats and cyber crime and how we can mitigate some of those, right? And thank you for joining us. Stay safe wherever you are. And just a quick, if you want, advertisement for HP, one of our good partners that's supporting this event. All right, they have a huge range of service from floor standing pedestal service to 1U, 2U service, and even blade service and so forth. So these are a huge range. In addition to that, connected to JBOD storage. So this is an advantage that they have that many of the others are not yet there, right? So it's important to note that this configuration gives us massive capabilities in terms of handling data. So this is something I stole from Clement's deck, right? Not so long ago, talking about all the data that's leaked out, right? Without saying, Facebook is still one of the leading ones with 420 million records stolen. So data like username, passwords, your details, even your personal details like IDs and so forth, right? And of course, with this said, it's important to note, oops, hold on. Something's happened to my slides. I know what it is. Okay, just give me a second.
No, I didn't hack you.
No, it's not you. It's not you. Trust me, it's not you. It is probably me who hasn't done a good job in sorting out some of these things. All right, let me just fix this. Okay. Oh, strange. It was okay previously. Never mind. Okay, what I wanted to talk about in this particular slide is how justice prevailed. As you can see, someone is trying to tell me I'm taking too long. All right, so it's moving by itself. Okay, now one of the key areas that I wanted to cover off was how eventually criminals get caught. All right, and that said, there was a group based out of Calcutta. They were scamming people in the UK, all right? And after a couple of years, an Irish hacker hacked into their CCTV camera network. And with that, many hours of recording was provided to the police. And then the Indian police went in and raided them and took them away. Okay, so good, a story that with a good ending, all right? So, but that said, right, this is an area that I've been trying to encourage people to go into. So I've encouraged a couple of friends to take on cyber insurance to offer to at least their customers in Malaysia. So those of you who are from outside Malaysia, this I believe is going to be very big. All right, so it's important for us to note that with these 3 tracks, we hope to give you enough. And the 50% of you who are from IT companies, please take note. Microsoft is doing a partner event called Microsoft Inspire. All right, and it's an all digital, and the best part about it is free. Okay, great for Microsoft partners. And of course, for technical people, please sign up for Microsoft Ignite. All right, this is again a free event, first time ever. All right, I went to the last 2 years and it costs a lot of money. All right, so please join this event if you're an IT enthusiast. Okay, and of course, on my own note, I also drive some workshops and so forth. So these are some of the workshops I'm prepping for with some of the people who are actually speaking in this event. So we want to make sure that we cover off all the technology with our partners, with our customers, and so forth. And if you want to see more of this kind of events, we like your feedback as well. Okay, so tell us in the chat and so forth. So hope to hear from you. All right, and I want to pass you on to Clement, who's going to share a little bit about the cyber threat landscape and all that, and also, all right, show you some demos shortly. But before Clement, all right, I want to pass you to Gregor, my good friend from HP, who's going to share a little bit about how they are driving hybrid IT. Over to you, Gregor. Thank you.